Good morning everyone. So today we shall discuss about one of the subtopics from ideal and non-ideal solutions. And before this, we must be known about the term ideal and non-ideal solution. So these are the solutions in which they are related with Raoult's law, and those solutions which obey Raoult's law are called as ideal solutions, and if they are not obeying or satisfying Raoult's law are called as non-ideal solutions or real solutions. And also non-ideal solutions will be showing deviations, small deviations from the Raoult's law, where it includes a positive deviation as well as negative deviation. So after knowing all this, we are moving towards the next topic. It's about the vapor pressure and boiling point curves of both ideal as well as non-ideal solutions. So here we must know that for any solution to boil out, its vapor pressure must become equal to atmospheric pressure. And also we can say that if the vapor pressure is less, the component require higher temperature to boil out. It means for any molecule or a component, if the vapor pressure is less, its boiling temperature will be higher. And it is vice versa. Like if the vapor pressure is higher, it is going to boil at lower temperature. So its boiling temperature will be lower if its vapor pressure is more. And we'll discuss about two different curves. One by using vapor pressure with respect to composition in a binary mixture, and the second one boiling point with respect to composition of both components A and B in a binary mixture. So as I told you, vapor pressure is inversely proportional to boiling point. So here I have considered two components A and B. So as A is having lower vapor pressure, its boiling point will be higher, and B is having higher vapor pressure and its boiling point will be lower. So this is how we can observe in the curves. And also, so when I talk about this second curve, that is boiling point curve with respect to composition, that is mole fraction of B. So this boiling point curve can also be used to separate the components. Either they can be ideal solution or a non-ideal solution. So this kind of curve will be highly helpful to give theoretical explanation to separate the components by using fractional distillation phenomenon or the process. So here when I drew this curve, so we can also make out one more point here. So at the point A, the mole fraction of A will be 1 and mole fraction of B will be 0. So here we can get that mole fraction of A will be 1 and mole fraction of B will be 0. So if I move along this x-axis, gradually mole fraction of B goes on increasing such that at this point mole fraction of B will be 1 and mole fraction of A will be 0. So in the sense, here the graph is drawn as decreasing mole fraction with respect to A and increasing mole fraction with respect to B. And evidently, if we talk about this boiling point curve with respect to composition, so here as I said, the components can be separated based on the differences in their vapor pressure. So here, so when I take one of the mole fraction composition at this point, so if this composition of both A and B is increased up to a temperature T. So if I increase this up to a temperature T, so this is what the temperature T. So at this point temperature T, so if I talk about the composition of both A and B, where these will be in the form of vapor and this will be in the form of liquid. So above this curve which I have drawn, so above this there will be vapor composition of both A and B, and below this there will be liquid composition of A and B. So where within this curve we will see coexistence of both A and B in the form of liquid as well as vapor. So as I told, if the composition of A and B at this point is increased up to a temperature T, so we will get a point here which can be called as X1. So at this point X1, we shall see the vapor composition of B will be more and liquid composition of A will be more. So when I take two different phases, that is liquid and vapor, so vapor will be rich with B and liquid will be rich with A. And if I just increase the temperature from T to T1, like if this has been increased as temperature T to T1, so now the point temperature is T1 here. So if I increase this, so here we shall see the curve that the composition of B, which is here, the vapor composition of B goes on increasing. So its vapor pressure composition at this point, let's call this as X2. So at this point X2, the vapor pressure composition of B will be higher and liquid composition will be more with respect to A. So gradually when I go on increasing the temperature up to the temperature TA, so we just see only A in the form of liquid, where the complete amount of B will be distilled in the form of vapor. So this is how we can separate the components A and B by using vapor pressure. So as we go on increasing temperature, so we just get the component which is having higher boiling point in the form of liquid and lower boiling point in the form of distillate. So this is what the type 1 curve, where we see regular or continuous variation with respect to mole fraction. So both vapor pressure and boiling point will be continuously varying with respect to composition. This is what the type 1. So whereas in the type 2, so we get the curves as where the vapor pressure and boiling point will be showing a maximum point with respect to their composition. So where in type 3, in which vapor pressure and boiling point will show a minimum with respect to its composition. So let's talk about the type 2, in which it will be showing a maximum. So now let's talk about the second type of curve, in which the vapor pressure shows a maxima here at the point C. So this kind of point where it's been indicated by the term C shows that the liquid composition, and so this is what liquid composition and vapor composition of both A and will be equal. So the same thing is taken here with respect to temperature. So both components A and B, so which are here, so they distillate at the same temperature and even they condense at the same temperature. The composition is not going to vary when we distill them or when we condense them. So this kind of mixtures which exist at the point C are being called as azeotropic mixtures. So these are called as azeotropic mixtures. So azeotropic mixtures are those which condense and which boils at the same temperature without changing their composition. So here that kind will be observed under the type 2. So when I talk about the separation with respect to the boiling point curves, so here, so this is at the point C where the mixture will be existing, both A and B. So if I take a composition of A and B with respect to the mole fraction, when the temperature is gradually increased, so this will be meeting the point, so let's call this as temperature T. So at this temperature T, when I extrapolate with respect to this vapor curve, so here the composition at this point will be more with respect to azeotropic mixture. Let me call this as X1. So where at the temperature T1, the vapor composition will be more with respect to C and liquid will be richer with respect to A. And as I go on increasing the temperature from T2, like with respect to next composition, if I increase the temperature as T1, so at this temperature T1, we get the curve at this point. So here the component A will be more. So component A will be more here. It means if I increase the temperature gradually, the vapor composition of mixture will be more and liquid composition of A will be richer. So if I increase the temperature up to the point TA, we get A as liquid and the mixture, that is azeotropic mixture, will distillate out in the form of vapor. So that is how, so by using this kind of solutions, binary solutions, so we are able to separate only A in the form of a liquid and an azeotropic mixture. And it is very difficult and it's quite evidently impossible to separate B directly from this curve. So within this curve, it is impossible to separate the B component from A. So we are able to separate an azeotropic mixture which consists of both A and B and separately A in the form of liquid. So this is how we observe it. And with respect to the second part of the curve, so here, so when we go beyond this azeotropic mixture, so at this point, let me take, so when the mole fraction of B is considered here, which is more than A, so if I increase the temperature gradually, so here we will get the curve in this form. So here the point will be considered in this form. So as, let me call this as X2. So at this temperature, so here at this temperature, so we will get C as more in the form of vapor and B will be more in the form of liquid. So as I gradually increase the temperature, so at one of the points, if the temperature is TB, so you get B as only liquid and the vapor will be completely consisting of an azeotropic mixture. So if I increase the temperature, we get an azeotropic mixture. If I decrease the temperature, B will be appeared in the form of liquid. So by using this kind of type 2 curves, so we can separate azeotropic mixture and component A and B separately. But when you are separating the component A, it's not possible to get only B. So we can get an azeotropic mixture. And when you are separating out B component, we can separate only an azeotropic mixture. It's impossible to get the component A separately here. So this is how we get in a type 2 curve where vapor pressure will be showing a maximum and the boiling point will be minima here. So we can call these kind of curves as minimum boiling azeotropic curves. So at this point, so this is what minimum boiling temperature. So we can call this kind of point, that is at C, as minimum boiling azeotropic mixture. So this is what the type 2. And let's talk about the type 3, which discuss about where the vapor pressure will be minimum and boiling point will be maximum. So that is about maximum boiling azeotropic mixture. Okay, let's talk about the type 3 curve in which the vapor pressure will be minimum for the composition of both A and B, where the mole fraction of A will be decreasing and mole fraction of A will be increasing. Similarly, we observe the same type here in the boiling point curve also. So where the vapor pressure, as it is minimum, boiling point will be maximum for this azeotropic mixture, which is indicated by the point D. So here, this is what the azeotropic mixture which boils and condenses at the same temperature. So when I take a mole fraction of both A and B, so at this composition, so gradually if I increase the temperature, so here we'll get two components, that is about vapor component as well as liquid component. So this will be, above this there will be vapor and below there will be only liquid. So that liquid component, that residue component will be richer with respect to D and vapor will be A. So as I slowly increase the temperature like this, if I increase the temperature, so the component D goes on increasing. It means the residual liquid phase will be richer with D. So when the temperature becomes TD, at this point we shall get only D in the form of liquid, where A will be completely distilled out in the form of vapor phase. The same will be observed here with respect to the second part, like at the mole fraction composition, that is X1 at this point. So when I take a temperature at this point, that is T, so this is what the temperature at this point, that is T. So at this point we shall see the residual liquid phase will be enriched with respect to D, and vapor phase will be enriched with respect to B. And if I increase this temperature, so as I gradually go and increase the temperature, so the residual component liquid will be richer with D and vapor will be richer with respect to B. So if I again increase this temperature, see, liquid composition of this azeotropic mixture goes on increasing. So when the temperature is reached at this TD, so we shall get only azeotropic mixture, that is decomposition, and vapor phase will be enriched with respect to B. So this is how, by increasing the temperature, we are going to separate the azeotropic mixture and component A and B separately. So when you are separating component A, it's not possible to get the B, as I already told in the type 2. And when you are separating B, we cannot directly get the component A. Instead, when you are separating A, we get the azeotropic mixture D. So where always D will be approached by increasing the temperature. So this will be approached by increasing the temperature. So when the temperature is higher, the liquid phase, the residue phase will be composed with respect to azeotropic mixture, and the vapor will be composed with respect to components A and B. So this kind of boiling point curve will be helpful to separate the components from the binary solutions. So these are the important curves which are highly helpful in fractional distillation. So thank you so much for your patience listening. I hope the video has been given you the information regarding the vapor pressure and boiling point curves. So thank you so much.